But Shakur Stevenson was kind of put out on Front Street by Bob Arum here. And I don't know if I'm surprised. I'm not really. I am surprised maybe that Shakur is being this vocal right now on social media about it. But let's play the clip from Bob Arum about some information on Shakur Stevenson.
Shakur, he's another one of my fighters. He is a great young kid, right? But he's not ready to fight Loma.
Yeah.
You know, Shakur last year begged me to ask Loma if he could go into training camp with him.
Okay.
And so Loma gave him a good first round, and then he taught him a lot.
Okay, well that's good to hear.
Yeah.
It's great that you're fighting a mix.
I like how Bailey tries to clean it up at the end. Like, oh, it's great how you fighters like to mix it up, right? Like, no, that wasn't that great. Bob Arum just said that his prize prospect just got messed up in the first round. And Shakur Stevenson says, I try not to speak on sparring, but come on, Bob. Don't do that, with a shush emoji. And then he adds, because somebody asked, is Arum lying, though? And Shakur says, lying like a motherfucker. Guys, thoughts on the Shakur Stevenson-Bob Arum beef, as we're going to call it. Fu, I'll go to you since you're the resident Top Rank fanboy. Is this some promotional malpractice by Bob Arum going out to the media and saying what he said?
I think you already have like the issue where Crawford feels like he doesn't get promoted good enough by Bob Arum because of Loma, right? And now you have him kind of throwing Shakur Stevenson under the bus for Loma.
A prospect that's not even in the same division as Loma.
It's not a good look. For real, like, he could have said a lot of things like, look, you know, Shakur's not there. Like, we brought Loma in for a camp with Shakur because, you know, he looks up to Loma, obviously, as a pound-for-pound fighter. There's much better ways to say he's not ready for that fight without shitting on your own fighter.
You could have said it was a great learning experience for Shakur Stevenson.
Exactly.
We definitely saw that in a couple years, Shakur is going to be one of the guys. You know, like, there's a way you can spin it where it's obvious that, yeah, Loma, like, obviously got the, like, quote, air quote, won the sparring. Like, that matters for a training camp. But still promote his future star, right? Shakur is one of those guys that Top Rank is banking on for its future. And this is weird. Like, and just your connection to the Crawford criticism of Top Rank's promotion, I think, is obviously there. Bob Arum has had a long time criticism of how he's promoted African-American fighters. I wonder if that's in Shakur's mind at all. I'm just curious. It has to be at some point.
I don't know, but just, you know, in the future, he should just fall back to there's no rush. There's no rush for Shakur. That's the easiest way to push all that stuff off. There's no rush for, like, a guy that's that young, the amount of fights he's had, even though, like, Loma has only had 15 fights, let's be real, he's had, like, 400 and something fights in his career, like amateur and pro. So he's not a young guy. Shakur's a young guy. Like, let him be a young guy. It's just not a smart move. In a world where boxers are looking for other places to go all the time, and there's a lot of money out there for them.
Agreed. I think that's
right.
No, I think that's an accurate way to put it. Especially like me and Rob have been theorizing for a couple weeks now, that Loma could potentially be leaving the ESPN umbrella and the Top Rank umbrella. There's been flirtations of a Eddie Hearn move for Loma. If somehow Bob loses the prize guy at 135, the division that Shakur is probably going to move up to eventually, yeah, I could see Shakur leaving. And on top of that, if Shakur just doesn't feel like he's getting the respect that he's owed, you guarantee DAZN, PBC, everyone's going to be offering him deals. It's Shakur Stevenson. He's a silver medalist in the Olympics. He's an undefeated prospect. Now going to be fighting for a vacant belt at 126. Probably going to win that fight as well. This was just a bad move by Arum. But Rob, your thoughts on the Shakur Stevenson-Bob Arum beef?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Bob's Bob, right?
Bob's Bob.
I don't know that he's necessarily lying. I guess only, but obviously Shakur doesn't like the fact that Bob's either made it public or that it's a lie. So Yeah, interesting. But he's got his young lion, young bull coming out, calling a lion motherfucker, lion like a motherfucker. Have some respect. That's an 87-year-old
Stoner. 87-year-old stoner.
Your promoter that's trying to get you into it, to get you that title shot. And if he was to leave, and goes to Eddie, do we ever see the opportunity for Brandon Figueroa to try and beat Shakur, like a certain caller seems to think? Not that I want to trigger his calling to be another 30 minutes of Brandon Figueroa, let's be honest. But
Jay Willis in the chat. Shout out to you, Jay Willis, been a long time listener, saying Stevenson beats Warrington so easy. I agree. I just wanted to state that because I know it triggers Rob a little bit.
No, I mean, it'd be a good fight. I think it'd be a really good fight. But it's always hard when there's a real young guy going in against an older pro kind of thing. But it'd be a really good fight. I definitely want to see it. But suggestions that Josh Warrington ducked him are just ridiculous. But yeah,
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, no, interesting little slight back and forth on a tweet that I didn't think nothing of, and then I saw that Shakur. I was like, "What's this Shakur's replying to?" And I watched the video. Oh, and then he's lying like a motherfucker. I was like, "Oh."
Well, then in another point of that interview, he talks about a big fight at 126. He says he's trying to make it for Michael Conlon. Like he didn't even talk about making that fight for Shakur Stevenson. And it's like, if you're going to talk about your best prospect at 126, you're talking about Shakur Stevenson. Conlon's not even close. And I like Conlon, but let's be real. He's not on the level.
And I think the big fight they're trying to set up was the Frampton fight, right? For Conlon? I
think that's what he was talking about. Yeah. It's probably demographically, they maybe think that if they put both those guys, in a fight in Ireland or whatever,
Northern Ireland, yeah.
Northern Ireland, it's a bigger fight, right? But at the same time, if you want to give your best guy the shine, you would put Stevenson in there and let him build his name on Frampton,
Yeah, but he's getting a world title shot anyway, right? He's going to get a world title.
But it's against...
Get that deal done.
Yeah, I think with the title, it would make it easier. But one thing I want to sort of ask, a quick question, then we're going to go to callers. Actually, we have one more topic to get to, and then we're going to go to callers. By the way, shout out to the last topic because Rob sort of set it up, set the gears in motion, so to speak, with this news. I thought it was funny. Yeah, you got it done, Rob. Way to go. Matchmaker Robbie Hearns over here. But who do you think is receiving the first phone call? You think Bob Arum is receiving a phone call from Shakur Stevenson's people, who, let's remind people, Shakur Stevenson is highly, highly connected into the entertainment industry. Or is Bob Arum in Top Rank calling Shakur Stevenson about his tweets? Who's getting the first call?
I don't think a surveillance camera in a garage is particularly really high in the entertainment industry, but who's getting the first call? Yeah, interesting. Yeah, maybe Shakur. Calm down, young man. Don't come at Bob like that. I don't know. Maybe Shakur. Bob, what you doing, man? Hanging me out like that? Who knows?
I don't know, man. Shakur is connected. Thoughts?
No charges.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure from Bob's end, he's probably making the call saying look, you just need to play along. I'm just building up these fights, Marination. That's kind of, maybe he didn't feel like he was hanging Shakur out to dry, so he'll call and explain himself on what he meant or whatever, or.
I'll be honest. I think James Prince and Andre Ward called Bob Arum up.
It's
James Prince.
Talking about
James Prince is the same guy that when he heard drug dealers were selling drugs with his face on it, that he sent in every one of his people into New York City and got those drugs out of the city. This guy is so relentless when it comes to, you're fucking me or my people over. No, we're going full out. James Prince definitely gave a call to Bob Arum, or maybe Todd, because I always wonder whether or not Bob Arum is as active as he seems into the whole process of Top Rank sort of day-to-day operations. Is Todd DeBuff actually more of the runner of the company? But moving on, guys.